Hello, hello, and welcome back, everybody, to the premier shit-talking show between two friends who just never know when to quit and will never know when it ends. I, of course, am your slightly inebriated host. Slightly even more inebriated tonight due to the night two of the summit for me, Trav. With me, as always, my fellow host, the incomparable, the improbable, the immovable object, and also the irresistible force, all at the same time. He somehow is like Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan put in together, folks. This is, of course, the one and only Joey Fats.
What up, dude? Sorry, my headphones are shitting out on me as we speak. What's going on?
Hey, look, another week of, everything being fine for me and a whole lot of other people freaking out for the wrong reasons. Funny reasons.
Yeah, there was a lot of that going on this week. Not that that's any surprise because well, we know how this goes now. But the how do I say this? The liberal retards are just doing what they do. They're reeing harder than ever, and it is.
Yes.
I gotta say, absolutely glorious to watch the meltdown.
I'm loving seeing the further collapse. I mean, they've never had a pot to piss in for a long time now, over a decade at this point, as far as I'm concerned. And the fucking just them flaming out, them just having nothing but the same things they've been saying for this long time. It didn't mean shit then, and it means even less now.
And they just it should be disturbing how cavalierly they lie about everything. Like just how they don't care. Where they'll just like I was watching a thing and we'll get into Don Lemon in a little bit. But I was watching a clip from I forget what CNN show it was. I think it was Abby Phillips, whatever the name of her show is. And this other woman like reads from the indictment, and then Abby Phillips is like, well, no, that's not what they said. This, that, and she goes, and the woman goes, no, hold on, I'm going to stop you right there. She's like, I'm quoting the indictment. She's like, you can disagree with the way they've quoted it or whatever, but
Sure.
I'm quoting the indictment right now. And she's like, yeah, well, the way these people characterize anything, it's like hard to tell like what's real anyway. So anyway, and then just moves on. Like she blatantly tries to lie about something. The other woman corrects her because if she's suggesting that she's lying, she's suggesting that the woman reading the indictment is making shit up on the spot. And she's like, no, the woman reading the indictment's like, no, I don't want my name dragged through this shit. So let me just be very clear here. I am quoting what is in this paper. That is the official indictment. And Abby Phillips is like, yeah, well, like that means anything anyway. And it's like, bitch, like you literally just tried to lie and got called out on your own show, and then they just move on. Like they just move on with it. They lie and then they move on when they get corrected. They're like, well, we don't want to talk about that anyway. We want to talk about something else. And you're like, it's gotten so bad to the point now Tim Walz is just standing up there every day lying. Jacob Fry lying. Chuck Schumer up there trying to say that voter ID is racist and that they're going to stop, that it's going to be dead on arrival. It's like, bro, you don't represent the minority anymore. Like nothing you say means anything. Like they just keep pushing these same narratives and this same bullshit, and they keep lying about everything. They get caught and then they just move on to the next thing. Like what they just said didn't even get said, but they know they don't have to care because the people that they're talking to, the little sycophants that they have out there, those are the people they heard the lie, and they said, yes, that's all I needed to hear. Okay, good. Yeah, now move on. Now, we don't care about correcting the truth. We don't care if it's accurate or not. Just move on.
Yeah, well,
because we got the lie out there, and that's all that matters.
What only matters to them is who's saying it. They really don't care about what's right or what's wrong or like objectively a bad idea. They are solely going based on blue versus red in terms of things. They're not looking at things objectively. It's a mess. I'll admit when I'm wrong, which is few and far between. But when I'll admit it. And when
I've been wrong. It's happened once before.
Yeah, sure. At least you can admit it.
Turned out I was right, but whatever.
Years later, it turns out Joey was right, in fact. Yes.
Let the history book show.
Yes.
Fats was right.
Once
But no, you're
again,
right. But but that's the difference between us, Trav, and common the modern the average modern liberal, which is like now like I don't even like look like consider like anybody that's like under a 50-year-old white woman to be a liberal anymore because I think the most insane demographic of the left now is like the like 50-plus-year-old upper middle class white woman, the awfuls, if you will. And
yeah.
so they're the ones that I'm like I don't even like when I say liberal now, like I'm not talking about like 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 my cousin, you know what I mean, because he's just like, yeah man, like peace, love, and no war and all that jazz, but like he's like, I don't know, it's kind of fucked up, but at least they're like, most of them are like open to changing their mind when they're presented with new information.
It at least, yeah, the younger ones, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
that 50-year-old woman or male gap, they're not old enough to be our aunts. Maybe cousin age, depending on your cousins.
older cousins, but yeah, for me, older cousins, but yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I still don't have to take you seriously. Like,
God no.
I respect your opinion in the sense that I'm going to listen to it, and then I may or may not tell you that it's retarded, depending on how retarded it may be.
Can't use that word.
But
Stop disparaging people with Down syndrome. It's like, who said anything about anybody with Down syndrome?
no, if anything, and I think I said this on the show before, because I've worked with mentally and physically disabled people of various symptoms or diseases, however you want to classify it. That's a disservice to actual people with Down syndrome, because
100%.
those people are capable, most of them. Some try to pull some tricks on you, but other than that,
They can do that. Yes, I've seen that.
No,
firsthand.
they are. They're most of them. Well, depending on their level of functionality, because some are high functioning, some are not. But the high functioning ones, they are smarter than these liberals, and they would be like, "What you say is retarded."
Yeah. Yeah, you're a retard, and it's like, ooh, it's like that. Like it's like a double bag. It's like, damn. It's like when it's like in in South Park with like Jimmy and Timmy and Nathan and Mimsy,
Mm-hmm.
and like and Jimmy Nathan one time he's like damn Jimmy, why are you so retarded?
Shut up, Mimsy.
Like, yeah, and it's just like, oh yeah, right. Like the kid with the mental handicap is calling you retarded. Like that's oof. But,
back when South Park was funny.
Back when it was good. I know. My wife and I just had a conversation about this at the dinner table earlier, a little while ago, because how she's still fuming over this last season. Like she's still mad about it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I'm not, but I try to like push it out of my mind. But she's like, well, we were watching we were watching it downstairs before I came up, and the Goth Kids episode was on, the Vamp Kids.
Yeah, that's a classic.
They had the battle of the Vamp and the Goth Kids, and there's like the like what looks to be like a mid-30-year-old like black dude who's like hanging out with all the Vamp Kids for no reason,
and nobody questions him either.
No one even questions it, and he's just like. He's like, I swear to God, if one of you isn't who you say you are, I will go crazy on your motherfucking ass. Like it's just so stupid. And we were like, oh yeah, my wife was like, oh yeah, back when South Park was good. And I was like, it wasn't that long ago. South Park was still great. Just give it time.
And also, the character, visually, he is not even dressed as like a vamp kid.
No, he just got like a bandana on.
He looks like a stereotypical black guy, basically. And nobody questions his stance in the within the the clique or anything like that. It's just they're like, oh nope, he's here, and they don't even acknowledge what he says. He just says what he says, and then they move on.
Right, which is the best part. I just think it's so fucking hilarious that they do that. But yeah, it was just my wife she's still very upset about it, to say the least. So,
well, thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers.
Out to your wife.
Pray for no, pray for me.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you're the one who needs it more.
I do,
given the circumstances. But yes, speaking of black guys who don't belong,
and thoughts and prayers,
Don Lemon, Joey.
What a fucking idiot.
So, Yeah, he got arrested. He was released on bail, which was
No bail.
expected.
No
Oh,
bail was posted.
that sucks. He should have been
Yeah,
fined out the ass
he
for
was
that.
he was he was released on $0 bail. Well, he's a good liberal gay black man cuck, so he's not going to get much more than probably a slap on the wrist for this, but nonetheless.
Well, he was part of a thing, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but the stream that he had was like over 7 hours long of the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing with him meeting with people, and he was quoted as saying multiple times, "This is a secret operation," referring to it as an operation.
Yep.
Can't tell you what we're doing, but we're gonna go someplace and do something, and then they do it. They storm into a church, disrupt a service, and think they're above the law. And now, granted, I am not a religious person, but I do understand what the FACE Act is, and that it was signed into action by Bill Clinton. And
Way back in the good old year of 1994.
it does, in fact, protect those things from certain instances. Like, yes, you can protest, but that's not a thing you're supposed to be able to do. And I will say that for any religion, don't do that's like the biggest dick move. Even if I wholeheartedly disagree with whatever that religion is, do it outside of it. Don't torment the people inside.
Yeah,
especially the kids.
It's been a pretty fundamental thing that our country was based on, that which was freedom to worship. Like, that has been one of the most essential, non-negotiable things that we what do I want to say, founded this country on, because we knew whether you're Christian or Puritan or Jewish or Catholic, whatever. I don't fucking know all the different sects. I'm not a religious expert, but you know what I'm getting at. The different, different sections of Catholicism, like, oh, you're not allowed to practice that kind of Catholic. You're going to be this kind, or you're going to be that kind, whatever. They were like, no, you can practice whatever religion you want, whenever you want, and nobody can tell you you can't do that. That has been such a basic, for me to see what they did and go into a church, to me, just all it does is signify a level of arrogance from the left that we have never seen in modern in politics before, because they think that they are so far above the law. Like, I've known that you can't do that. Like, you can't just bust into a church and start fucking with people, or a synagogue or a mosque or anything.
Yeah.
Since I was basically could fucking walk and talk. Like, that has been one of the most easily nope, you can't do that. Freedom of religion. Nope. Anybody trying to challenge that is immediately just dismissed with, nope, it's in the Constitution. Fuck you, get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but for them to do this, it just shows me that they have gotten to the point where they are so unafraid of any consequences that they're willing to do something that literally everybody in this country knows you can't do.
Yeah. And you can disagree with those things all you want. I disagree with all of them personally. But that I still respect the fact that you can't do that legally.
Well, I mean, I agree with freedom of religion. I think is a big one. I put it, it's in the big three for me, if you will. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, right to bear arms. I think
and that's fine.
If I had three amendments that I absolutely were non-negotiable, those would be the three.
Sure.
But they cover, they've grown, and there's been amendments to them where they've added to these amendments where they cover more, and they're more broad now, and you can be widely more interpreted differently, I should say. This one is not to be interpreted any differently. There's nothing, no one has ever said oh, you know what? It's not like after 9/11 we were like, you know what? Go ahead, go harass some mosques. It's fine. Go harass some Muslims in a mosque. It's cool. We'll look the other way.
I mean, granted, it did happen.
Not nearly as much as you would think it did, though, because I think everybody knew, at least a lot of people in this country knew, if you went and did that, you were immediately going to be fucking skewered, because it's freedom of religion. You can't do that. You can't, again, you can't punish, one Catholic person because another is anti-abortion. Like you can't group them all together. There's plenty of Catholics that are pro-choice. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, it kind of flies in the face of their religion, but whatever. Like I get it. Like I consider myself Catholic. I'm not overly religious, but I was raised Catholic.
Yeah.
I was raised on Catholic beliefs. Consider
Same.
myself pro-choice. And
Yeah, and same
I'm
with that as well on my end.
and I'm pro-choice because not because I believe it's a woman's right to go get cream pie with impunity at the club and then terminate the pregnancy 3 weeks later because it's inconvenient. I'm pro-choice because I don't believe in the government. I don't believe the government should be able to tell you what to do ever under any circumstances. So that inherently makes me pro-choice because if the government's telling me no, you can't have an abortion, well, no, I disagree with that, and especially if it's coming from a place of a religious basis. I
Yeah.
don't believe in. I don't consider religion to be a basis for my life. So why should it be forced on anybody else? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm pretty sure you and I are probably pretty much on the exact same page with that. But I do believe, but there are parts of the Catholic religion that I do believe in. I do subscribe to, like the Ten Commandments, like don't fuck your neighbor's wife, don't kill anybody, be a good person. I don't know, like it's kind of shit that should be common sense, but like somebody wrote it down and put it in a nice, neat, orderly list for us, and
Sure.
now we can just be like, okay, can you do these 10 things and you'll not be a piece of shit? Like, cool, I think I could do that. I'm pretty sure I can not steal, or bang my neighbor's wife or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's all pretty easy stuff to do. That being said, what Don Lemon did, and if you go back and actually watch the live stream, Trav.
Well, I didn't watch all of it because goddamn.
I didn't watch all of it either. I watched a lot of the highlights of it, or the clips, if you will, because there were no highlights. There's a lot of lowlights.
Yes.
But I watched him take the camera off, and this is where Don Lemon incriminates himself because they're trying like hell to fly under the guise of the First Amendment, and he was just journalist. He's just a journalist who was there. He was just a journalist who was following these people.
No, he wasn't.
No,
just
he
that.
He was participating, and he incriminates himself all the way through this fucking live stream when he says, like you said, he refers to it as an operation. I know where we're going, but I can't tell you. And he takes the camera off the people who are talking because they're giving out sensitive information.
Yep.
And then when they get to the church, he physically obstructs people from leaving.
Yes, he does. He absolutely does.
Again, you can't fucking do that, dude. Like, if you want to do that, like, if you want to go to, like, I don't know, go to a fucking Red Lobster and do that shit. You can absolutely do that. Like, that's not a protected place. It's private property, and you can be kicked out, but it's not protected under the FACE Act.
Yeah.
And these fucking morons incriminate themselves probably several dozen times at least throughout this live stream because Don Lemon, he says he knows where they're going, but he can't tell you, meaning he's in on it, which also means he can be brought up on conspiracy charges.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, that
like
is classified as conspiracy because
what
he's saying those
moron.
things and not divulging that information. Granted, he doesn't have to online, but it implicates him in this way. And yeah, look, I'm not religious at all, but even I know that what he did and what those people did were wrong, and also how it looks on paper. Like, imagine you're just anywhere, church, restaurant, movie theater, what have you, and a group of people just barge in and start yelling. Who's to say they're not going to start shooting? Like, you don't know what their intentions are. Like, that.
How far they're going to take it, before when does the performative portion of this end and the action part begin?
Exactly. I mean? That's what I'm getting at with that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and you're talking about a church. Like, this is a place of worship. Like, this is one of the few places in America that, like, you are not supposed to feel any type of intimidation or fear or anything from any outside forces. Now, we see it all the time. People, run up in churches and open fire and these mass shooters and all this stuff. Like, we've seen it from time to time.
Ah, shit, lost you, bro. Let me see if I can get you back. Joey, can you hear me? Let's see if we can get you back. Oh, there we go. I think. Why is that not working? Come on, Joey. Shit, did I lose you, man? Oh, something's happening with fucking Streamlabs right now. Let me see if I can get you back. Trying to get you back, man. Shit. All right, might need to close. Shit is weird right now. Yeah, I'm not getting anything. Still streaming, apparently.